Hey y'all, hey, how's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday night. What's shaking in these streets? Y'all do me a favor, invite, share. Your girl is, I'm shadow banned. I'm shadow banned. So help me, okay? Invite. Share. You've been waiting on me, Dr. Tammy. We're in the busy season right now. So we're trying to make sure everybody gets everything together. Okay. And so we're trying to make sure.
What you think is about to happen? This isn't random. Let me ask you a question right quick. While you waiting for the perfect time to get in the market now already recovered off the lows. Tech is running, finance is running.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Hey. Thank you for the heart me. Hey LC chats. Y'all tap, share. Hey Rain Ray. You fell asleep waiting on my live, girl. I'm here, honey. I'm a working woman. Y'all got to remember, I'm a businesswoman first, and I just happen to be popular on social media. So even though I try and make sure I'm putting up my posts and stuff like that, my social media is secondary, like to my clients. And speaking of clients, is everybody aware that we're having a workshop on Saturday? And this workshop is specifically focused on showing you how to attract buyers. Are y'all aware? If y'all are aware, give me a one in the chat. Let's see. You watching CNN and got upset? Don't get upset, baby. don't don't get too upset. You said it's not shocking. We have our ears to the ground and our cups, okay, on the thread. That part, we're gonna get these updates. Okay, that's what we gonna do. So I want to do a little bit of education about um the gas markets, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the US Treasury tonight. And we're gonna do some Q&A because I know I dropped a lot on y'all the other day when I was on. And I'll give you guys a little news roundup too. And then we'll just chit chat. Hey, Miss Rayford, what's going on, girl? Hey, everybody. So, when I'm talking, when I get into the spiel about allegedly, and I'm going to say allegedly to help protect the page, what's going on right now with the manipulation of said cat. Okay, we're going to refer to the market as cat tonight. Okay, we're going to call the market cat. Everybody got that? So as new people coming in, y'all help them with the lingo. The market, we're going to call it cat. So when I say manipulation of cat, that's what we're talking about. All right, because again, we got to try and protect the page. Baby, there's so many of my favorite journalists. There's so many of my favorite political commentators that have been getting their pages snatched down left and right. One of my favorite journalists, Mediterranean Latina, like her page is on its last leg. So she hadn't even posted like at all today, and she's a legit journalist, y'all. And she has so many strikes and so many violations, and she has like a backup page, so we went and followed it. And then she got to the point that she had made her page private because she was trying to like help protect it from it getting so many reports. And if y'all go look at my TikTok account right now today, you will see over the past 48 hours, anything I've posted, like the views are down, like under 500 views, just boom, like out, out of the blue, all of a sudden after the last live stream that we did together. So yeah, y'all know they be out here working against us. Okay, they be working against us. So I will say this on TikTok, I may chill on doing news updates over here for a while if I can't, because I don't want to lose my account. I don't want to. And I've seen several other of my mutuals getting their accounts snatched at like 300,000 followers, 200,000 followers, 449,000 followers. They're getting their accounts taken left and right. So I'm not really sure what I want to do. I also, if y'all can follow me on the tube, my name is at King Ashley N over there. Remember, I told y'all if we get to 20,000 subscribers on the tube, I will start posting over there, and I will try and do like a roundup every single day on the tube because there seems to be more freedom and flexibility over there. And we'll be able to start like a podcast where we just do economy, politics, and business on that side. Okay. So if that's a way that y'all can help me, because we got to figure something out, and I know I can do like a Substack where people can subscribe and stuff. I also have a Upscrolled account. I just haven't put anything on the page yet. Mediterranean Latina. I love her. They got the Real Godiva Goddess. She did more like geopolitical commentary and stuff, and they got her. They got her, and they got her backup page. So I think she still has her page on Instagram though. So, and then I don't know if y'all know Buna. They got Buna's main page. So Buna is on a backup page now. Like had to start it up like from the beginning. So when I say they coming after us, y'all, they are coming after us left and right. So when y'all see the content from like me and any of the creators that we're supplying y'all with information, it's very important that y'all take the time to watch the video like all the way through, so it helps our retention numbers. And it's very important that y'all comment and that y'all share. Like that's super duper important because it helps us get around the algorithm suppression. So whenever y'all see our content, whether it's news related or if you see my other content, my business related, cooking video, whatever's going on, just to help the pages stay current. So that's what you'll see. So and I'm just saying, I'm not just for me. This is for all of us. If there are people, you like our content, you like our information that we're putting out, like y'all, hey, Marianne, hey, babe, thanks. Y'all have to really make sure that y'all are, doing your part too. Hey, Pen, thank you for my mark of loves, girl. So literally, okay, literally the big thing is making sure y'all watch the videos. Okay, even if you need to watch it on 2 times so you can get to the end, do that, and then comment and share. Okay. Now, next that's very important. Y'all give me housekeeping, so I can test my delay. And I need everybody that's in the room right now to share because I'm not going to be showing up on FYP pages because y'all know I got violations. So, so I need y'all have to share. Okay. Y'all got to share. Now tonight, I am going to be expecting a lot of the working of the comments because we're going to be talking about money and we're going to be talking specifically about international cats and how the international cats are going to directly impact the mignon here in America. Y'all got it? So we're going to do a news update. Then we're going to do like a little bit of education. Okay. And then we'll do like always, we'll do open panel and y'all can pull up and ask me anything or talk about anything that y'all want to talk about. Does that sound good? Does that sound good to everybody? If you're watching me on YouTube or Facebook, please make sure that you're giving me the thumbs up. Like those little heart taps are great, but they really respect the thumbs up. Okay. It has to be like the actual thumbs up on YouTube. Okay. And on Facebook. And y'all should be working the comments as well. All right. These are things that don't cost you anything. All right. Now, as far as Saturday's workshop, okay, it is still happening. We'll be at noon Central Standard Time. I want to be clear. The workshop is going to be virtual. So you guys will get a link on Friday. And those of you that got the workbook, you will get your workbooks on Friday as well. Okay. For some reason, when I'm saying it's live, some of y'all are equating live to in person. Live and in person are not the same thing. If it's in person, I will say it's an in-person event. Live just means that it's not a recording, it's not a replay. We're going to be in the room together. So there will be time for Q&A, and it is a workshop. So that means I'm going to do a little bit of, well, a lot of training and education, but because it's a workshop, I'm going to be expecting you to execute immediately, okay? So if you signed up for the workshop and you didn't get the workbook, I don't know what's wrong with you. Baby, you need to email customer support if you didn't get the workbook, because you're going to need the workbook. There's going to be a lot of working. So like, I'm going to teach, we'll go through a concept, I'll show you guys a skill, and then literally I'm going to be like, go to page 22, and we're going to work on pages 22 through 26. And we may take 10 or 15 minutes to work on that. And then I will randomly call you guys out, and I'm going to expect you to show me your work. Okay. Why? Because remember, we're trying to get to the point of making an extra $1,000 to $3,000 within the next 30 to 45 days. And so that means you have to do it now. This is not a situation where you're just going to come in and you're going to listen to me and you're going to go, oh my God, this sounds fantastical. And then you're going to go home and you're going to sleep on it and forget about it. No, I want you to actually be able to have a working plan, working models, whatever the concepts are that we're going through. I want you to know what you are doing before we leave class that day, okay? And we'll do, just like anything, we'll do Q&A at the end, and I will answer all of your questions that I can. That's why I made this training earlier in the day. Y'all know normally I'll do like evening time trainings that'll start at like 4 o'clock and stuff like that. I did this one earlier because I need your brain to be active, okay? Also, a lot of you guys DM me about the workshop on Saturday, and y'all were basically asking me to extend the sale price. Tonight is the last night if you're trying to get the 97 and if you're trying to get the 197 VIP, okay? Like seriously, at midnight is going up. So if you want to get in, make sure you go to my go over there and tap in, and you'll see a button in my tree, the top. You'll see the VIP button and you'll see the regular admission button. Okay, everybody got it? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? If everybody picking up what I'm putting down, let me know in the comments. I also need everybody else to say, hey, God, hey, because that's who gave me the gifts of business, beautification, and hospitality. I've been able to use them to make a crap load of money for myself. But more importantly, I'm really proud of the fact that I've been able to help over 900 people create 6-figure incomes. I have 191 clients that have made $1 million in less than a year. If you're inside of here and I help you make money, drop the money bags, the dollar signs, the credit card emojis, the euro, the yen, the dinero, whatever makes you feel good down in your shanana. I also have 8 clients that are 8-figure earners. That means they make over $10 million a year. So I'm very, very proud of that. And I have 13 clients that have had $1 million months. Okay. So I'm your favorite's favorite. I'm the lady behind the curtain. A lot of the people that you guys admire online, I'm the person who's built their systems in the background and all that good stuff. So I help you make money. Thank you for everybody who's dropping the money bags and the dollar signs right now. I appreciate that very, very much. If you're new to me, my name is Ashley Ann. I am a public speaker. I'm an award-winning luxury event designer, but most importantly, I'm a business builder. I use my platform to discuss business, ways to make money, and of course, geopolitics, because it's all related to money, whether you want to admit it or not. Okay, so that's what I use my platform for. I also love to cook, and I love gardening and home decor. So you will also see that type of content on my page as well. Okay, I'm a well-rounded young lady. So typically, you're supposed to separate that type of stuff, but I don't care because I just use this platform for fun. Okay, on my other platforms, I'm much more more serious, and they're very segmented in niche space. But on here, I just do that. Do I teach trading? No. I recommend Tay Sweat, Terry Ijiyama, and Wall Street for trading. They are literally the best. And Tay is coming out of retirement, so I think he'll be doing a live stream Friday at like 10:30 or 11:30. I'm really excited. Yeah, they're the best. Tay is my number one. Okay. But yeah. But do I trade? Yes. Inside of my mentorship group, I share what I am investing in. If other people want to do that, but as far as teaching how to trade, that's who I will give a thumbs up to, that they're all the way legit. They're not running scams. They actually know what they're doing. And they are really, really good at educating people, even newbies. Okay. My holiday decorations are incredible. Thank you so much. So for those who don't know, I run a professional event design company. So that's why my holiday decor looks like that. Okay. So if y'all are ready, give me ready. Let me see it roll through the comments, okay? Let me see it roll through the comments. Okay, so we're gonna start with some news updates. And I'm going to go through these relatively quickly because a lot has happened yesterday and today. Okay. We're going to get through that first. Just so, I know that y'all know what's going on out here in these streets. And yes, all of these things are impacting the price of your groceries, the price of the, utilities, the power that you're using in your home. They, of course, y'all know at the pump, okay, at the gas pump, y'all know that it's impacting you there. So, first thing first, we have these things called straddler tankers. Basically, some came back to the UK and they look like Swiss cheese because Iran put a dent in them. Okay. It's not real. It's still wreaking havoc on Lebanon, and they actually have started releasing phosphorus on those people to burn their skins. They also dropped a bunch of flyers across Gaza. Was like, oh, we'll have coffee later, basically taunting them. Hezbollah was like, we sick of your ish, and they basically sent a swarm of drones over there and rockets to plu. What's going on in the situation? Okay, Bahrain and Qatar allegedly are going behind the scenes and they're trying to get a truce with Iran because Iran is tearing them up, but Iran ain't having it because remember I told y'all Iran is working to tank our economy, okay, to put the financial pressure on us. Saudi Arabia decided to increase their security as they should. You still have like over 20,000 people stranded in the Persian Gulf, like sailors that are stranded over there. They've been there since the war has started. They haven't been able to get home. And I was like, that's insane. They're running out of water. They're running out of food. Basically, a humanitarian crisis is starting. Austria said that they are willing to send their navy to help Big Orange and them forcefully open up the Strait of Hormuz, but the blockade that America put up, no one is taking it seriously, and several Iranian ships have passed through the blockade already, and Chinese ships have gone through the blockade too, and they didn't do anything. Then the world dropped footage yesterday of American ships taking the long way down around Africa because they didn't want to go through the Red Sea. And they did not want to go through the strait because the Houthis have already shut down the Bab el-Mandab Strait as well. Okay. So real crazy out here in these streets. So when you see the red hat influencers getting online and they're like, there are hundreds of ships, tankers, they're coming to the United States. It's great for our economy. We're going to be filthy, rich. Our economy is going to boom. They're telling lies. First of all, a lot of those pictures and images that they're putting up, those are from 2023. Okay. Number two, the tankers can't move that fast. They move at about 15 miles per hour. Number three, which we're going to talk about later, America does not have enough oil to be able to sell to everyone. We are already kind of like at maximum production just for us alone. And 100% of our excess oil that we typically that we typically pump is sent abroad. 100%. I'm not exaggerating. It's sent abroad and it gets mixed somewhere else, so that because we have light oil, ours is 40. So it gets mixed with 20, so we can have 30%. So then we can come back and use it like in our homes and cars and stuff like that. Okay. Just keep that keep that in mind. All right. Also, let's see. Iran said if America keeps effing with them, they're gonna drop new forms of warfare. Baby, I ain't even trying to see what is going on with that. UK and France are hosting 40 countries to come over there, and so they can actually talk about what's going on and make sure that this situation actually never happens again. Y'all know Raytheon, the weapons company. They make a lot of the boom boom plows for America. Y'all know what I'm talking about? So somebody set their warehouse on fire today, set it ablaze. I believe that this is going to be a new trend, a new form of protest against these large corporations and these big companies. People have understood at this point that these companies are holding hundreds of millions, sometimes billions of dollars worth of inventory. And when it comes to the supply chain and these companies being able to fulfill contractual obligations, they are no longer able to do that. So people are understanding they can do significant damage. And if these companies will not listen to us, if they're going to keep committing acts of violence on the citizens here, people said, I'm gonna set your stuff ablaze. Okay. Also, Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, they keep trying to set his home on fire. That keeps happening as well. So yes. And a lot of people don't know this, but do y'all know that thousands of American veterans got together and they held a march against this administration? The only media I saw cover it was PBS. There could have been somebody besides PBS that covered it, but PBS is the only group that I saw covering it. And I was like, way to go for the vets. I get that they'd be upset because a lot of them have sacrificed their health, their bodies, their bones, joints, time away from their family, friends, their mental states, right? A lot of them have sacrificed a lot, and this is not what they fought for. Okay. Yeah, thousands of them. Y'all can go see it on PBS. PBS is the only media, like, regular traditional legacy media is what you call it. They're the only ones that I saw covering it. Eric Swalwell, the Democratic guy that was running for governor over in California, he has been accused of a lot of sexual misconduct. The Dems put pressure on him to drop out as a gubernatorial candidate. And at first he wasn't going to drop out, but the Dems were basically going to meet together and they were going to force him out of Congress. So he went ahead and dropped out. So that didn't have to happen. I hope that the red hats are taking notes. Okay. Now let me be clear. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democratic. Okay. I've told y'all several times before, I don't think it's beneficial for Black people to belong to any party, to either party. If I'm being honest, I feel like, we should be leveraging our vote, as a collective towards the candidate that's going to do the best as far as the quality of life. That's just me. Okay. I'm just keeping it a buck, but I'm also a numbers girl. And I cannot deny the fact that typically when we have Democrats in office in America, our economy does do better and more jobs are also created underneath them. Like, it's crazy. So anyway, that's going on. And these ladies are coming out and they're like, hey, I'm a victim. This is what he did to me. This is how I ended up this way. Okay. Also, let's see. The initial warehouse, the Kimberly Clark warehouse, allegedly they didn't have the proper insurance. So it's looking like they're going to have to pay for all of that damage, like out of pocket, or it's not going to be covered. That's insane because it's like $730 million worth of damage. Then this terrible story came out. Apparently, y'all know they set a Amazon warehouse on fire yesterday as well. And apparently there was a worker who was not feeling well. His co-workers wanted to assist him and give him help. the supervisors would not allow the co-workers to give this man help. And the man passed away right there on the floor at work. And literally the employee said that the supervisors forced them to work around this dead body for hours. What in the world? Okay. I was like, the level of cruelty and dementedness, like, child, it's a lot. Okay. Let's see. Vehicle recalls, lots of food recalls. I think at least once a week, I'm going to start trying to do like a weekly recall update or list, because there's a lot going on with medicine and food that most people don't know about. So y'all stay tuned. I'm trying to get it worked into my schedule. At this point, I think I may have to get some extra help. But it's just kind of hard, because I'm like, I don't know if they're going to verify and validate the way I verify and validate, because y'all, I do a lot of cross-referencing before I come and bring something to y'all, because y'all know I'm really concerned with being accurate. And so it takes me a lot of time when I'm looking to make sure that things are legitimate, right? Because there's a lot of stuff out there, baby, that's not legitimate. But let me tell you what is legitimate. If you need a laugh, tens of people showed up to see JD Vance at the Turning Point USA function, and they overestimated how many people were going to be there. And they had this big old arena, and they couldn't even fill up 25% of it. And then the people that did show up, they showed up and they heckled the man. That's wild. That's hilarious. DoorDash is freaking out because a lot of Americans did not realize that DoorDash supports the current regime. And y'all know they pulled that stunt the other day. And it's all bad for multiple reasons. One, once a lot of people understood that DoorDash supports the current regime, people have been canceling their memberships with them left and right, refusing to order from them. Number two, everybody was like, the optics are terrible, because here you have a grandma working to pay for their medications, working to pay their bills, and they're driving DoorDash, and they're delivering a load of McDonald's to a uber wealthy billionaire who literally is standing in front of a golden gilded room where everything is gold. And a lot of people are like, this is a perfect illustration of America right now and what's happening. It's giving plant. She definitely is a plant. She showed up to other GOP events. She doesn't even live in DC. Apparently she lives in Arkansas, but she was at another event for like Arizona or New Mexico or something like last year. But anyway, long story long, it's just backfiring. It's not giving what they thought it would give. So they're over there in crisis management. And I'm going to tell y'all this right now. There's not enough red hats to keep that company afloat. And I've been telling y'all for months and months and months and months, if y'all want to see change, don't get me wrong. These Kings protests, the No Kings protests and stuff, it's cool to see that many people out there. I think it is a morale boost, and it helps other Americans not feel isolated and alone, like they're the only people that have morals. But if you want things to change, you have to couple those protests with like protesting your wallet. You have to stop spending. That's the only way. These companies that are supporting the current regime, and you know you don't agree with what's happening, you have to stop spending your money with them. You have to get very intentional about shopping with companies that support your values, your views, and that are going to be looking out right for you as a citizen, people that align with your policy. And, you know, shopping specifically with small business. That's really the only way. And I'm telling y'all, if we would have started doing that months ago, the situation we're in right now, we never would have gotten here. Okay, so it's very important. I know some of y'all feel like, well, I'm just one person and my money doesn't matter, but that's how it starts. So if you start and then maybe you tell your best friend or you tell your kids or your spouse, and as a household, y'all say, we're not going to do this. And then you talk to your cousins or your sister and your brother and say, hey, y'all, we shouldn't shop here because of XYZ. We shouldn't eat at this restaurant because of XYZ. You know, here's our list of places that are companies that support us or that are good with with us, and if we are able to push those companies forward and let the others start withering and hit those numbers, a lot of this stuff is going to shift. Okay. You said you from Mississippi, all you got is major companies. Lies. I go to Mississippi a lot. Baby, when y'all come out here spouting out stuff, you better recognize who you're talking to. I live in Arkansas. Super familiar with Mississippi. Y'all have some small companies, and y'all also have some larger companies and corporations there that absolutely have spoken out against the current regime. Yeah, stop that right now, in the name of Jesus. Okay. Next. Let's see. Izzy attacked the Gaza Strip again, the north, the south, and the central. And of course, Hezbollah is still fighting back as they should. And let's see, the U.S. officials are apparently alarmed because for some reason, well, not for some reason. So y'all know Big Daddy Russia is still fighting Ukraine, okay? So Russia has decided that they need to launch a nuclear weapon in outer space. Y'all, I have no idea how that is going to affect the planet Earth, but I'm not a scientist, but just common sense tells me launching nuclear weapons in outer space so that the fallout can float around in space, fall back down into the atmosphere. It doesn't seem like the smart thing to do, and it seems like it's going to cause a lot of problems for the environment and for the humans that are on the planet Earth. Now, Big Daddy Russia says that they want to do this because they're trying to knock out the satellite systems and the GPS systems. So when their people are reporting on this, their scientists and their engineers are like, hey, this is going to cause chaos all over the planet Earth. All these things are going to be out. And I'm like, yeah, stuff is going to be out. But I'm like, this is probably going to cause significant health issues too. Like launching a nuke in outer space is crazy. That's crazy. So currently, they're trying to get everybody to get Big Daddy Russia to not do this. Yeah, I don't think any country should be launching nukes in outer space. Anyway, there are 6 articles of impeachment against Petey Weedy. Y'all, I really don't even care about them and impeachment. Everybody's like, impeach. They have already impeached this. These people are lawless. They don't care, okay? They don't respond to that. They respond to violence and they respond to money. Withhold the money. Okay, I don't care. Y'all gonna impeach them, and they probably put it on their wall like, yeah, I got impeached. Okay, let me tell y'all a story about the mindset of people that are like this. Okay, these extreme red hatters. So I had a neighbor when I first moved into this home. Okay, and this neighbor, typical, YT man, doing the most. Feeling entitled, like they have the right to be all in your business, boss you around, tell you what to do, XYZ, elemental P, okay? For those of you that don't know this, I have a Rolls Royce, okay? I don't be out here bragging about it because I feel like my intellect and my work speaks for itself, so I don't have to use my trinkets or my material things to try and get clients to come to me or try and use it to build up my social media account, okay? So that's why a lot of y'all that are new, y'all probably have no idea, honey, but I'm that girl, okay? Don't play with me. But I'm also very down to earth, okay? You understand what I'm saying? So when I got here, my vehicle was being serviced. There's not a maintenance or dealership in the state for that. So I always have to take it out of state. So they come and they send a little trailer and they put your car on a little trailer and then they drive it away. So Missouri is the closest to me. So they take it to Missouri, they service it, and then they drive it back to me. And then I live in like a curve and it's not a very wide road. So they always have to go a few houses down to bag my vehicle off of the little truck, and then drive it up to my doorway. Okay. So anyway, he realizes that I have this vehicle. I also drive an Escalade. Okay. I'm about to get rid of it. I think I'm going to get an Infiniti. Y'all, those of you that know, y'all know Escalade, baby. Cadillac and GMC have been on some real shady stuff, and I'm going to be back on their top every week. Please believe me. So those of you that are having vehicle malfunctions with your GMCs and your Escalades, yes, send me your stories, because I'm finding stories all over the internet. And because y'all have smaller platforms and smaller pages, you're being ignored. But whenever I posted them, they come and they talk to me because I have over 1 million followers on Instagram. Okay. Anyway, and the ish ain't cool. Long story long, they knew that they had problems with this L87 engine. They also know that this vehicle, they're putting the inappropriate oil weight in it, and it's causing all kinds of problems for people's engines and transmissions. And we're having vehicle failures, and people are being significantly injured. And they knew this, and they kept doing the same thing in the cars from like 2019 all the way up to now. Okay. So keep that in your back pocket. Okay. But this is before. Okay. I bought this house a long time ago. So he sees me driving around in my Escalade all the time. Then he sees the Rolls Royce, okay, drop off. Then one day a Lamborghini shows up to my house because I use the Lambo to generate income. So I do it as a luxury car rental. Okay. So sometimes the Lambo's here, sometimes it's not. Okay. It's not here right now because side note, I'm gonna need some help because this guy stole my Lamborghini. I'm not joking. And then he sold it to like some auto body shop or something. That's a whole nother situation I got going on in the background that I'm gonna have to get resolved. So anyway, so now as a white man, he's like, why is this little black pickaninny doing better than me? He definitely got jealous. Okay. So now he wants to be all in my business. Okay. Anyway, but he should have been focused on his own business. Long story long, one day the sheriff shows up on our street. The sheriff shows up to put him and his family and his children out of the house. One of the saddest things I've ever seen. He got foreclosed on. Okay. They showed up, they give them like 15 minutes to throw everything, to get whatever they can and get out. Okay. Excuse me. Then the bank shows up with the moving trucks, and you see movers, they're just literally just throwing crap. They're just throwing crap into this truck. And I'm like, this is terrible. I'm like, this is awful. Do y'all know that this man was bragging about getting foreclosed on? He was like, yeah, I almost made it 3 years without paying my mortgage. I'm just trying to help y'all understand the mindset. So like impeaching these people is not going to do anything. They're going to brag. They're going to be like, yeah, they'll be like, they did this. And I still did what I wanted to do. It didn't stop anything that's happening over here. That's like, no, seriously. He was like, I almost made it 3 years without paying. He was bragging about it. Crazy. Okay. His wife is in tears and distraught, because I would be too. Not necessarily because of the materialistic stuff, but one, you're hiding something like that from me, sir. You probably would me, okay? And then also they're heirlooms from your family. You know what I'm saying? They're heirlooms from your family that are important to you. Like there are some things. It's like, if you know it's coming, at least I can move it out and go put it at my sister's house or my mama's house, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they had kids. Yeah, they had kids. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was sad. Okay. Then another crazy white man moves in over there. And he starts harassing me. And like, y'all, I'm talking about letting his dog poop in my yard, doing all kinds of like weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like just like for instance, he didn't like that, like we have like a shared flower bed and my mom's car would be on the street sometimes. He would throw a fit about it, but I'm like, your trailer sits in front of my house all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't say anything about it. Just nasty, just nasty. Like the more they start digging into me and they get infuriated because one, I'm a woman, number two, I'm younger than them, and number three, I'm black. So by all means, I should not be doing better than them, right? And you sitting over there in an empty house echoing all day. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to figure out, they're like, how are these black people, you know what I'm saying? How are these black people, they're younger than me, how are they doing better than me? Then they start all the stuff, well, they must be doing something illegal. I'm not doing anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? But long story long, he ended up having to sell it because he couldn't afford it. I knew he couldn't afford it because I'm like, you came to that big old house and you ain't had nothing in it. Okay. But long story long, I don't want to squirrel too much. I'm just trying to help y'all understand the psyche of these types of people. Like they're, you know what I'm saying? Like that it's like a badge of honor to them. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna, they're not normal people. They don't respect the law. So, you know, the DMs being like, oh, we're gonna impeach them. And you're gonna impeach them, but you didn't remove them. The man literally incited a riot. Like, we're not gonna act like J6. You know what I'm saying? Didn't happen, okay? Then on top of that, now you said, what are we supposed to do? I'd already told y'all what you're supposed to do. Look, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna keep saying the same thing. It's not gonna change because my solution is the solution. People just don't want to be inconvenienced and they don't want to be uncomfortable. You have to close your wallet to the corporations and the companies that support this regime. That's number one. So that does mean you may have to drive a little bit further to get your groceries. You gonna have to wait sometimes a week or 2 or 3 weeks to get stuff in the mail because you have to stop ordering off of Amazon. Okay, you're going to have to get registered to vote, and you're going to have to show up, and you're going to have to vote these different congressmen and congresswomen out of office that are not doing anything. You have to do it. That's how. And you're going to have to build a community with your neighbors. You're going to have to work with your neighbors, so you guys can support one another, so y'all can start bulk shopping, y'all can share in what you're growing, y'all can help y'all understand what I'm saying? You can carpool together, you can do things to make life easier for you. And at your local government level, when your governors and your mayors are cutting these secret deals behind closed doors, and it's taking away the funding for public schools, it's taking away the funding for affordable housing, is taken away. They're allowing these AI data centers to come in, and they're going to drain the actual resources from the physical environment, literally drain them. That's what you do, and you put yourself in a position to make more money. And I've been shouting it from the rooftops for months on what to do to make more money. Are you coming to the workshop on Saturday? Are you doing it? I don't know. Okay. So, anywho, okay. Anywho, that's what's going on. Okay. Shout out to everybody that's coming to the workshop on Saturday. Yes. Hey, Aunt Jackie. Okay. Next. Big Orange, Petey Weedy, Tom Homan, and Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. They're all beefing with the Pope. Every single one of them. They're beefing with the Pope right now, which is really insane. Like, that's crazy. The Iran keeps dropping Lego diss tracks. The latest is Fake Jesus and the Epstein Queen, which is about Melania. Big Orange is mad that the UK will not come out and help with the Strait of Hormuz, and so now he's threatening to change our trade deal, which honestly we really can't afford that, because I don't know if y'all know this, America is broke right now. And then shout out to Maine. They are the first state to pass a statewide ban on data centers. They say get that ish up out of here. And so I think that those are the important things with the news, at least right now. I haven't I gotta go back. I always kind of do like an evening time sweep around 10 p.m. to see what's new, what's been cracking out there in the world. Okay. Now, next thing next. This is a really big list. This is a list of, y'all know Big Orange wants $1.5 trillion to fund these wars across the globe. And so I got a hold of the list of what they're going to cut or programs that they're going to eliminate in order to come up with this $1.5 trillion. So I really need y'all, I need everybody in here to share. I only see 23 shares. I need everybody in here to share. I need everybody in here to work the comments. Catholic here, I left the church because of Big Orange and MAGA hypocrisy, but I will go back for Leo. Hey, baby, I feel it. Leo does seem like a cool guy. Real talk. The Supreme Court ruled on him putting those tariffs on other countries. Exactly. He's still doing it. That's what I was telling y'all. Like, people can put whatever, they can impeach, they can overturn laws, they can say what you're doing is illegal. They get up every day and they do illegal stuff. And that's, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I don't really get agitated by a lot. But every time someone's in my comments and they're like, oh, that's illegal, that's illegal. Horton gives a who? They don't care. Okay. They don't care. They will use the law to suppress or take out anyone that's going against them. But Big Orange already told y'all, he said, I am the law. Y'all don't remember when he, like, this was like a month and a half after he got into office, and he was getting into it with Big Gretch, and it was somebody else, another senator. He was getting into it, and he looked at them dead in the face while the camera was there and said, I am the law. He meant that ish. The same way he thinks he's a divine being and he's posting images of him up like Jesus. Now I will tell y'all this. It is crazy to see the amount of red hats that are like in panic mode, and they're like, oh my God, how can we miss it? He's the Antichrist. How did we get here? How could we have supported someone like him? Because y'all ain't got no morals. Y'all don't have any discernment. A lot of y'all are evil and hateful. It was very easy for him to manipulate y'all. All he has to do is say something about trans or something about Black people, and y'all are all for it. You literally are cutting off your noses to spite your own face. And I don't get it. Y'all are so pressed on someone not having something that you are willing to forsake yourself, forsake your children, forsake your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, your church members, your neighbor, all for the fact that you're getting over, or you're getting a one up, or you're ruling the Dems, you're ruling the libs, whatever is in your mind. Like, literally, they just tap into your hate. They've been doing this for a long time. They really haven't changed their strategy. And a lot of people keep falling for it. And Black MAGA and Mexican MAGA, y'all the worst out of all of them, because baby, the amount of self-hatred that y'all have for yourselves, the amount of propaganda that you swallow. And it's very weird that they always think that they're others. Like, y'all think that y'all are better than all of the other Black and brown people. Like, no, baby, to those white people, you're always going to be one of us. There's nothing you can ever do to be good enough. That's why Candace Owens, she's on this whole, like, oh, my eyes are open, I'm awake. Like, no, Candace is mad because she a token and she got spent. And at the end of the day, what she was trying to get, she wasn't able to achieve it. So now she wants to try and burn down the house that she helped build. I don't trust them type. They not like us. And I honestly don't want them in our community, and I don't want to fellowship with them. Let them go do their own thing. I'm just keeping it a buck, okay? All skin folk ain't kin folk, and there's a lot of people. Yeah, they got melanin in our skin like us, but for whatever reason, because they are lower tier, because they are scum, because they are bums, because they are lower vibrational, because they do all of the things that they're trying to project onto the rest of the Black race, and they hate themselves so deeply and so badly, they think the worst of other people that look like them. Those are the same ones that literally they would have gone and told on the enslaved people that were escaping. They are the problem. They are the worst ones. And they're so happy to be the only token. They're so happy to be the only Black person in the room. They're so happy, you know what I mean, to be getting all of this white validation. That's all that they live for. That's all that they want. And so literally I could give a flying fart. And a lot of them as things, leave Candace alone, baby, eat a dick. Sorry, y'all, work the comments. That just came out. I'm not messing with her. I'm telling the truth. And she has been very detrimental to the Black community. So no, I'm a Black woman and I have freedom of speech the same way she does. I can say whatever I want to say, and I haven't said one thing that's a lie. I haven't said one thing that's a lie. And before she was very pro-Black, but once she realized that she could get paid and she could get coins from grifting to be a red hat, that's when she flipped into that. Go look at her old content when she first started that she tried to bury. And don't forget that the NAACP had to come to her rescue and help her and her parents win a case after some white people were after her. But she wasn't making mignon from being pro-Black. That's when she flipped over to the other side. She a grifter. Stop playing with me. Tokens get spent every day. Okay. Shout out to the 92%. Let's go. Yay us. Yay us. Yay us. Okay. And to the 84% of Black men, go y'all, go y'all, go y'all. Because we know what's up. Okay. And a lot of y'all be sitting up in these churches worshiping the devil, but that's a whole nother discussion. I'm not gonna get into that. Hey, Glorious Locks. y'all be sitting up right on up in there getting spiritually manipulated every goddamn day. Okay, I'm very firm, and I remember people that got upset with me, but most Black people and white people, we do not worship the same God. A lot of Black people are focused on trying to follow the example of Christ. A lot of white people, let me be clear, Christian nationalists, because there are a lot of white people, they're not racist. There are a lot of white people, they see through this bull crap. There are some white pastors that are good pastors, they're biblically sound, and they are following Christ. So let me be very, very clear. The evangelists, the nationalists, they like to call themselves Christians, but they're not. They're not. Okay, that's a thing. Okay, the ones that are out here defending Big Orange, posting himself as Jesus, they're the problem. Okay. They are the problem. All right. So let's talk about this list, because this is a problem, because Big Orange wants $1.5 trillion to continue in this war we have no business being in. And y'all, if you pay attention to his Truth Social post, he has been talking about how Cuba is next. Cuba. Okay. And we supposed to be America first. Okay. This is not America first. Excuse me. The fact that this particular budget plan wants to take $8.5 billion in funding from public schools, and y'all, they've already taken so much funding from public schools. This is disgusting. When I say they want to make your children stupid, they want to make your children inept, they want to make it so that your children have to be enslaved or depend on the bare minimum because they're not properly being educated, that they want to widen the gap between the have and the have nots. One of the ways to do that is to start with the children by having a population of people that cannot read, cannot write, can't do basic math, grammar, a lack of understanding in science, geopolitics, how the world works. And you're also going to lose a lot of really talented educators. They are going to leave. Y'all, they're going to leave. You're going to leave so many good teachers. You're going to lose so many good educators that really actually care about the youth, because the teachers aren't going to be able to pay their bills. They're not going to have a choice. So the list, okay, of what they're cutting. And please keep in mind, I have a long list and this is not exhaustive, okay? This is not everything that they're cutting or that they're eliminating. But yes, they are indeed. They want to take $8.5 billion in funding from public schools. This is on top of that stupid voucher program that they have going on right now, okay? They want to take $510 million in grants for farmers. They want to take $82 million away with loans for rural small businesses. So that program will be completely eliminated. They want to take away $61 million in money that gives support for the farmers. That's going to be gone too. Eliminated. $240 million is going to be taken away from the school, meal, and food educational programs. They are taking $993 million away from scientific research and tech standards. They are going to take $150 million away from the support for the American exports and trades. That's a really big problem because exports are how we make our money here in America. And so we need people to be out, like encouraging other countries to buy our goods and buy our services. That's part of the reason. Y'all, I don't know if y'all are aware of this or not. Y'all work the comments, work the comments, work the comments, work the comments, work the comments. I'm about to say something that the app is not gonna like, but it's the truth. And y'all can go and fact check me. I'm fine with it, have no problem. Okay. Y'all should know this by now. I speak on things that I know. I don't speak on theory. I don't speak on things that I don't understand. I speak on things that I know. Okay. So America has a huge problem because America refuses to tax the top 1% appropriately, okay? And they allow the top 1% to have a lot of loopholes. So this means that America does not take in enough money. So we spend more money than we take in, okay? Now, because we spend more money than we take in, this gives us a deficit. Typically, what America does is they go and they sell treasury bonds to other countries, which we're going to get into once I finish this list, okay? We go and we sell our bonds to other countries. Other countries pick up our debt, okay? This allows us to print more money and not cause hyperinflation and collapse our economy because other people see value in the dollar. And one of the big reasons they see value in the dollar is because America, well, typically the world buys oil in US dollars, aka the petrodollar. Okay. Now, what we have going on with Iran and with China and with Russia and with Brazil and with India, aka BRICS, in South Africa, is they are working on their own fiat, but they also have all come into agreement and they are saying we will pay debt in yuan, that's Chinese currency. We will buy oil in yuan, okay? Right? This is part of the reason that we're over there in that part of the world, okay? Y'all remind me, I'm going to give you guys a list of 3 or 4 of our recent battles, and you will see that the common pattern is that every time a country tries to get off of the petrodollar, America goes over and we start a war in that country. Bleep, bleep, bleep. This is historically accurate. Okay, and this is the truth. And y'all can go look up the treasury bond rates, and you also can go look up and see what country holds our bonds. And you can see that European countries, especially when he started talking about taking over Greenland and all that stuff, they started dumping American bonds. This is an issue. Okay, big issue. That's not what we want. All right. Now, back to the list of things that they're cutting. All right. Where was I at? Oh, $150 million in support for exports and trades. Again, this is a big problem because we need people to buy our stuff. All right. $2.2 billion for broadband internet in rural areas. I know all of us that live in cities or metro areas, we kind of forget that there's a huge amount of Americans. I think most Americans actually live in rural areas across this country. They need the internet. So I'm not sure why we would be cutting the infrastructure for that, but yeah. 1.1 billion for energy efficiency and clean energy programs, cutting it. And I had forgot to tell y'all this a few weeks ago. Big Orange and them paid a windmill company $1 billion to not continue their project here in America because they didn't want the clean energy competition. Side note. Side note, case y'all didn't know, that happened. Let's see, 1.1 billion scientific research funding being cut. And if you guys are just getting here, we're going through the cuts. If any of you guys are working the chats, if y'all could let anyone new that's coming in, we're going through the programs that this regime wants to cut or eliminate in order to come up with the $1.5 trillion to fund this whole war situation. Okay. Excuse me. 386 million in environmental cleanup programs, 5 billion for public health programs, mental health services, and disease prevention. Child, we do not need people out here not on their medicine. Okay. We do not need people out here not being able to get mental health services. Do y'all know how scary that is? Okay. Real life. I have an aunt who has schizophrenia. We've always known this our whole life. She's not a harmless person when she's not on her meds. Very violent, very dangerous. A couple times actually attempted to kill my mom. And my mom was her caregiver. Okay. When I say my mama loved her sister, because baby, I would be like, I quit. Okay. My mama stayed with her though, because she understood that my aunt wasn't in her right mind at that time. So yeah, okay. There's lots of people out here, baby, they need them meds. They need them meds real bad, or we'll have a whole lot of problems out here in these streets. Okay. So I know their firsthand experience, and also you need disease prevention because it's better for society, and number two, economically it's more sound if you can catch something in the beginning or stop someone from getting something before it turns into a significant problem. Okay. You said your mom has Alzheimer's. We need to research. I'm sorry to hear that about your mom. Alzheimer's is a really, really tough disease. It's really, really hard, really, really tough on the family. I'm sorry about that. But you're correct. Yes, we need to research. So that's crazy. Yes, they're cutting additional 5 billion in medical research, 1.3 billion from FEMA. Y'all know the people that come out after big disasters. Yeah, they're cutting more money from them, and they don't have enough funding already. 707 million from cybersecurity programs for our critical infrastructure. This really, really upset me because if we're going to be on a war brigade across the world, across the globe, and we're going to be harassing people, y'all know, and I know, even Iran right now, they're launching multiple cyber attacks on us right now. These other countries are going to keep launching attacks against our infrastructure. Why in the world? Like, that should be ramped up. Y'all know, you know what I'm saying? Why are we cutting it? We have no business cutting that. That, baby, that needs to ramp up. We need more, okay? We need more of this, not less of this. So this is insane, especially the fact that they're trying to find more money for the code people. No, we need to be finding more people for cybersecurity and these people that watch out for like chemical warfare, against us, disease warfare, those sorts of types of things. Insane. They are cutting another $52 million for airport and transportation safety. Yes, they are cutting more VA benefits, but they want people to join the military. What? Anyway, 40 million for chemical and biological warfare threats. They're cutting them down. Again, we have multiple wars happening right now at one time. I don't think we need to be cutting anything as far as like the defense, the research, the intelligence, the prevention crews. Like, no. Hey, Tony, what's going on, love? Thank you for the mark of love. Let's see. Something else to tick me off: 1.3 billion in affordable housing construction grants. Program is completely eliminated. Now, I remember a lot of y'all was like, we voted for this regime because we wanted housing. We wanted housing. Yeah. Okay. So much for that. 529 million in housing assistance for people who are living with AIDS. $50 million in grants to help communities build affordable housing. Completely eliminated. Let's see. 53 million for home buyer and renter counseling. Completely eliminated. So this why y'all said I was being extreme, but I was telling you, one, you need more money. And number two, do y'all remember, like, this was months ago, and I did a live stream and I broke down the big, beautiful bill. And these are cuts in addition to what's in the big, beautiful bill and how it was going to impact a lot of Americans. And I was trying to help you guys understand how they were setting it up so that these big corporations can come in and purchase a lot of the single family homes and the multiple family dwellings so that you would never really be able to own anything, that it was going to be harder to be able to increase your net worth and your regular cash flow that's coming in every single month, right? Y'all, they're trying to make it so that you and that your children is going to be dang near impossible, for you to afford a home, which is crazy. And I think for us and our family at this point, I think, the homes that we have, we're trying to make sure that there are things like, literally, there's a huge head start that you get when you know that there's a home that you have. Excuse me. I want y'all to think about this. If when you were in your 20s or your 30s, you never had to pay rent. Let's say in your 20s, the whole 20s, you didn't have to pay rent because you were able to live in a safe neighborhood, you were able to live in a decent house, and you were able to stack up your money. Imagine how much easier it would be for you to buy your property, a home, start a business, invest in the stock market, right? Those sorts of types of things, because you would have basically $2,000 a month in income that you could put into the proper place. So it's a huge advantage having a home. It's a huge advantage coming from a family that has a home to give to you, or a home that you can come and stay in. Even when you get older, right? You know what I mean? Like, you got parents and they have a home and you have a home now. Well, maybe we'll reverse mortgage one of those houses so we have income to come in to help take care of you when you get older. Maybe we'll take that house and we'll turn it into a rental. Maybe the house is big enough that you could turn it into a duplex. So now you can get two sets of income that are coming from it. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, you got a home, that's an asset you can borrow against. So now you can go and get a line of credit and you can borrow against that house. You can take out a HELOC and you can go buy other properties, other businesses, pay for your kids to get their degrees so that they don't accrue debt while they're in college. Y'all not picking up what I'm putting down. I'm trying not to squirrel. Clearly, y'all can tell I love, finance, and I love educating people on finance. But you have to understand, in a lot of our community, not just our community, most Americans are financially illiterate. And so when I see that they're cutting things like this, it's heartbreaking to me, because I know for a fact it's going to make it that much harder, that much more difficult for Black and brown people. And honestly, not just Black and brown people, average earners in America, even white people, is going to make it that much harder for your children to have a basic, decent quality of life, to be able to get the American dream. So this is extremely intentional, okay? That they're pulling millions of dollars and billions of dollars away from programs around housing, rental assistance, and giving contractors contracts and incentives to build affordable housing. Sorry, y'all. I know I did a little. We did a little side quest. Okay, we coming back to the list, but I just need y'all. I just need y'all to understand how detrimental this is. And that you're going to have more and more, how you see in these big corporations that are buying up all of these homes. That's their goal. They want to buy the homes. They can control the rent. They have forever income coming in for their investors, right, in the back end of their portfolio. And they can say, yeah, we have these houses and these houses make X amount, of money, blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, okay. Sorry, y'all. Side note, if you know that you need to make more money, and you're looking to make money quickly through, getting into affiliate marketing, which I highly recommend, because becoming a influencer, like big influencer, y'all, that's like making it to the NBA or the NFL. It's like 1% of y'all that are actually going to do that. But you can make a ton of money through selling your own products and services. You can make a ton of money through digital products and services, and you can make a ton of money through affiliate marketing. Okay. So if you need help attracting buyers, you need to make sure you come to the workshop on Saturday. Go look at my bio. You will be able to, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you should see it in the description, the link to be able to register. Okay. And the price goes up tomorrow. So do what we need to do. Baby, that 50-year mortgage business is nonsense. I digress. Let me focus. let me focus. Okay. Next thing that they cut, $1.7 billion in grants for local law enforcement and public safety. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that really shocked me because I know the red hats are pro police. I know that they're pro officer, so I was just in shock that they were cutting $1.7 billion in grants for law enforcement. I was like, what? I was like, this is insane. 234 million for worker safety and labor programs. 46 million in programs to combat child labor and forced labor. There's also some disturbing conversations that have been leaked from the Republicans about them trying to basically create or normalize slavery again and starting to indoctrinate children as early as the first grade. And by the eighth grade, basically have them out working. Like, this is an option. You need to work. You need to support your family and your household. Baby, we're traveling backwards. Okay. Let's see. 46 million on programs to combat the child labor and the forced labor. 1.2 billion food aid for hungry families abroad. That program is completely eliminated. So we're going to have even more farmers that are going to go into bankruptcy. Let's see. 642 million. That's for the international economic and treasury programs. 486 million in grants for public transit programs. 204 million with loans and investments for underserved communities. So basically, a lot of the Black and brown business owners, how y'all know it's already tough for us to get a loan, it's about to get even tougher. And don't forget, they already got rid of the DBI program, and I told y'all that months ago. And a lot of Black contractors, truck drivers, people that would be subprime and secondary on these government contracts, they lost them because that fund was shut down. So 100 million on air pollution monitoring and reduction, completely eliminated this program. This really made me irate. Y'all do know we're humans and we need air to breathe, right? So air quality is a big thing. So the fact that they have completely eliminated the funding for this program that looks out to make sure that we as humans have, clean air or better quality air, and that you're reducing the pollution and making sure that these companies can't set up right outside of your neighborhood and pollute your water, pollute your air, give your children asthma, all kinds of cancerous stuff like that, is really extremely disturbing. They also cut 2.5 billion from the clean water infrastructure. We need water. The fact that they're cutting billions away from the budget for infrastructure for clean water is extremely alarming, especially when you couple that in how they want to give AI, just unchecked, rain. And it's such a huge drain on the environment as well. Okay. You said, where's the money going for these cuts? To fund the war. Remember, they asked Congress for $1.5 trillion to fund our war activities. So these cuts are going to fund the war, or the wars, the multiple wars that we're in. 659 million in community building grants cut. 49 million for the support for minority business. That program is now eliminated. There's no more funding in it at all. Once they take this 49 million, if Congress approves it, and remember, the Republicans do have the majority across the board, so they're probably going to approve this. 449 million in economic development for communities. This is all communities just across America. 1.6 billion for weather forecasting and for environment and fishing. This is NOAA. Do y'all remember last year there were so many deaths because they had cut the funding from NOAA and people weren't able to get alerted of severe weather? They want to take another 1.6 billion from NOAA for the weather forecasting. Okay, 1.5 billion for vocational training programs. This is now going to be eliminated. So it makes it that much harder, that much more expensive if you or your children, like let's say you want to get a CDL, you want to get licensed in to be HVAC, carpentry, plumber, electrician, those sorts of, and they have shortages in those industries and those types of careers, that are blue collar, but they're really good paying, and you need skilled laborers for those sorts of types of things. Yeah, it's going to be that much harder now. 2.7 billion for college access and higher education support. Remember, I told y'all they want the children dumb. They want our future Americans brainless. Okay, they want them very dependent on the system. Keep in mind, on top of that 2.7 billion that they're cutting for the college access and higher education and the 1.5 billion for a vocational training program, they also cut 8.5, proposing to cut 8.5 billion from public schools. That's almost $13 billion, like when it comes to education. Okay, 15.2 billion from roads, bridges, and infrastructure. That's going to be detrimental. You're going to see so many people lose their jobs. I don't think a lot of people understand, when you have those projects going on, that it provides a lot of employment inside of communities all across America. Excuse me. 150 million for cutting edge and clean energy research. 4 billion from home health and from basically there's a program for heating and cooling to help pay for low income families. It like subsidizes their bills. They're going to cut 4 billion from that. And please keep in mind that our energy costs are higher because of the war that we're in right now in Iran. 775 million from local anti-poverty programs. Program eliminated completely as well. 129 million from healthcare and quality research. 756 million from emergency preparedness and disaster response programs. 53 million for funding for homeland security operations. Again, we're entering wars all over the place. Why are we cutting anything to deal with the security of America? 3.3 billion for community block grants and for local neighborhoods. They're going to wipe that out. That will be eliminated at that point. 1.3 billion programs to reduce homelessness. 489 million reduction for the housing for Native Americans. 60 million for enforcement of fair housing and anti-discrimination laws. 5 million for renewable energy programs. 1.6 billion for job training for the youth. Again, anything dealing with training, education, vocational for our young Americans. Baby, they are cutting it left and right. Anything with housing, cutting it left and right. Things with clean water, disease prevention, clean air, cutting it left and right. $101 million for the enforcement of equal pay and discernment. A lot of you white ladies that love MAGA, you about to lose your job. I'm gonna leave it at that. 350 million for the democracy and corruption monitoring. 2 billion for international humanitarian work. 4.3 billion for global health and disease prevention. Y'all remember he cut that during his first term, and that's how we ended up getting the vid over here like that. 4.2 billion for like our environmental protections, and 1.7 billion for the SBA, that's the Small Business Administration, and them being able to fund and assist and help people. So yeah, okay, yeah, those are pretty significant cuts. So just understand the news is not going to tell you this. Again, y'all can go and look this up on the different government websites. You can see the proposed plans whenever you go to the government sites that are up, and you can go double check, triple check, quadruple check, what I am saying, okay? But these are the proposals, and it is alarming. And of course, your congressmen and women, they're not going to tell you because they know if you know, you're going to vote them out. They're not going to be reelected. So I am letting you know, and y'all let as many people know as possible. I did put a post up on TikTok and on Instagram and on Facebook. I probably need to make it horizontal and put it on YouTube so that way y'all can save it and you can send it to other people, because it's overwhelming and it's going to be very challenging to just be like, oh, they're cutting a lot of stuff. But when, you know, people can hear it listed out like that, I think it really helps people process like this is a real problem. Okay. Now, next thing. All right. So let's talk about shorting the market, and let's talk about some illegal cat activities that Big Orange and the cronies are participating in, known as our government. So one, I need everybody to share right now. I need everyone to work the comments like crazy. If you can send little 1-cent gifts, that would be excellent, just to help protect the stream. If you want to help me hit my live goal, that would be fantastic too. Okay. I'm gonna need all the help I can get right now. Okay. YouTube, Facebook, let me see them comments going, baby. Your girl needs all the help that she can get right now. So for those of you that get here and you're like Big Orange, that guy that's on the picture, that's Big Orange. Okay. When I talk about Petey Weedy, that's the guy that's over the department, well, formerly known as the Department of Defense, now the Department of War. Okay. When I talk about Cha to the that's the country with a really, really high GDP, and they hold a lot of our treasury bonds. Okay. When I say cat tonight, you know, when you go shopping, you go to the supermarket. Take the super off of that, okay? That's what I mean by cat. Whenever you hear me say cat tonight, I think that's enough of the lingo. Everybody should be able to hop on. When I talk about poot de loo, that's the guy that's in charge of the really, really big country that's up north and it's super cold and it starts with the letter R. And you can get to America from there. Okay, that's Pootaloo. When I talk about Nettie Net, that's that man over there in Is Not Real causing all this ruckus. Y'all got it? Everybody got it? Okay, so we're gonna do a little history lesson first. Oh no, I got water down here. Oh, I hate it when I do that. Y'all, to put my notes in some water. They bleeding a little bit, but it's okay because I still know generally what I want to talk about. So first of all, we're going to go into pattern recognition so y'all can understand how the cat has been being manipulated, okay? And we need to think about the petrodollar, okay? So, and if y'all are like, I don't know what to type in the comments, just drop your favorite color. That'll work, okay? You can put what you have for dinner too. That will work as well. All right. So one of the things that gives our fiat America value is the fact that all over the world, all over the globe, people buy oil, energy, liquid natural gas in US dollars. Okay. That is known as the petrodollar. And so back in the day, our president went over to the Middle East. They cut a deal, a 50-year deal, and they were like, we will give y'all protection, the Gulf states. So the Gulf states are, hold on, let me put the map up. Okay. The Gulf states. Let me see if I got a map over here for y'all on YouTube and Facebook land. Boom. All right. So Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, okay, Qatar, okay, we get into Oman, Dubai, the Emirates, all of that. And Big Daddy America says, hey, we will offer you protection with our, because y'all don't really have a military over here, y'all don't really have navy, y'all really ain't got no good air defense system, and you're going to need protection. And if you sell oil and you only sell oil in American fiat, we will give you military protection. Okay, so literally that deal is what was working. Okay, and because everyone needs energy, they all need oil, they all need gas. Thank you, Robin, because everybody needs that. It made our money extremely valuable. Okay, so the 50-year deal ends, and then BRICS comes along. And basically, the countries in BRICS, they're like, I'm tired of America bullying us. I'm tired of them using sanctions against us. I'm tired of them playing run up, get done up. And we have to do something about this. And if we create our own currency, and if we're able to get enough countries aligned with us, then we don't necessarily have to be dependent on using the American dollars. But keep in mind, America is still very valuable because of the petrodollar. So basically, all of the world banks in every country, they always keep dollars. The reason they always keep dollars is because the governments have to have dollars so they can buy oil. Everybody picking up what I'm putting down. Everybody picking up what I'm putting down. They have to buy oil. Thank you, Blue to True. Thank you so much. All right. So this becomes very dangerous anytime a country that's in this region or a country that produces oil or liquid natural gas says, I don't want to use American fiat anymore. Okay. So in 2000, there was this guy, his name was Saddam Hussein. Anybody remember that? Ladybug 24, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was such a big gift. Thank you so much for my future encounter, Ladybug. Thank you. Y'all remember that guy? So, okay, let's see. Let me try and say the pattern without getting a violation. This is the pattern, and then I'm going to name a list of countries, and you're gonna be like, "Oh snap!" That's what was happening. Okay, basically, when countries say, "I don't want to use the American fiat, I'd rather use something else," typically within 24 to 36 months, America comes up with some reason to invade said country and destabilize their governments, put different leaders in position so that oil can continue to be traded in American fiat. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. So in 2000, you got that Saddam Hussein guy, right? And in Iraq, they start to sell oil in euros instead of in American money. Okay. Now, if you guys remember, if you're a millennial, all of a sudden there were these weapons of mass destruction. They were, days away, weeks away from having a nuclear weapon. This is a threat to the world. America has to be the hero. We have to go intervene, right? The average American does not keep up with geopolitics. They don't keep up with politics here in America. They don't keep up with money. They don't understand we're a global economy and how things are working, right? And then y'all remember, right, like 9/11 happened and all of that. So everybody's like, yeah, get them, do what you got to do. Right? So America goes over there and they clip. Okay, they start a ruckus. They clipping people left and right. We at war. Y'all remember we was in Iraq for a long. The Iraqi war was really long. It's like 20 years we were over there. And once we declared, like, okay, we have came and regulated, we've established some order, one of the first things we established is that oil you better keep trading it in American Mognon. Leave them euros alone. Okay? Then in '09, y'all remember that this guy, his name is Gaddafi. Anybody remember hearing his name? And one of the things that Gaddafi does is he proposes that there's a dinar, and this dinar is going to be backed by gold. And all of the countries in Africa, when they're trading energy, they should use the dinar instead of the American Mognon. Within 2 years, NATO intervenes. Ladybug 24, thank you so much for my galaxy. Within 2 years, NATO intervenes. And here comes America. And what happens to Gaddafi, y'all? And the idea of the dinar disappears, and energy keeps being traded in Mognon. Okay? And then, y'all know, a couple of years ago, I started telling y'all about conflicts that are happening in like Niger and different stuff that's happening in Nigeria, and strategically what America is doing on the back end. Kay Johnson, thank you for my cake, baby love. Thank you for my sparkles. Okay. Then all of a sudden you have Venezuela down there. And what is Venezuela doing? Venezuela is doing a lot of trading of oil with who? Cha to the And whether y'all know it, America and Cha to the baby be all the time. Cha to the also holds a lot of America treasury bonds. Blink, blink, blink. This is a problem. They start dropping them suckers. It's going to drop our dollars. America says, no, we can't have Cha to the getting cheap oil from Venezuela. Okay, 67% of the revenue that Venezuela was making on their oil was coming from them sending it to Cha to the Okay, so this is why all of a sudden Big Orange wakes up and he like, we got to get down there to Venezuela. We got to stop this. We need a blockade. We can't have them sending this oil out to Cha to the for the low, because we need people we got to control the oil, because we need people all over the world to have the oil in the American Mognon. So boom, here what they go do to Venezuela? They're like, we finna kidnap your president. We finna put somebody else in place. We finna destabilize your government. Big Orange says, I'm gonna take control over your oil, and I'm gonna start selling it. And not only am I gonna sell it, I'm gonna sell it and I'm gonna put the money in an account in Qatar. So it's protected, and only I have control of it. They didn't put it here in America so we could earn interest off of it. And now the countries that were getting the oil from Venezuela, now you can't do it. But they let Big Pooty-Loo come through there to deliver aid, okay? Even though it's supposed to be a blockade and you're supposed to get sanctioned if you do this and that. Okay, ain't that illegal? Yes, they do stuff illegal every day. What are you talking about? Yes, get into it. They're criminals. They love illegal activities. For them, not for you. Not for you. Okay? Okay. What am I drinking? So this was a mixed drink. I had beet juice in here, grapes in here, apple, lemon, pomegranate, and I also was low on my protein, so I put my protein juice in here. I ordered a grape flavor from, was it Nutricost? It was really good. So I had like 8 ounces of my beet juice concoction, 16 ounces of the protein concoction, and like another 8 ounces of ice. Very tasty, very refreshing. Okay. Flushes you out, cleans your arteries, gives you good clear skin, all that good stuff. Okay. Yep, it does. It will help lower your blood pressure. So I have to be careful when I drink it because I don't want to drop my blood pressure too low. But yeah. But for my baby daddy, that's how I got his blood pressure down. That and him taking magnesium. Okay, next one. So now we get to modern day Iran. And what has Iran been doing for the past couple years? Those of you that have been following me, y'all know Iran has been strengthening their relationship with China to the up. Iran even has a railroad that runs directly from Iran to China to the so they can send stuff back and forth to one another without even having to use the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so China to the says, "Hey Iran, hey, we would like to use yuan's instead of American monyon to pay for our oil." And then Big Pootaloo says, "Yeah, you know, we got some debt that's out there. We owe some people some money. Instead of paying it back in monyon, we're going to pay it back in yuan's." And then India says, "Well, we have to get a lot of oil and gas from that area. So if we got to pay in yuan's to do it, because y'all got to remember, India is a part of BRICS, we can do that." So now we got a problem. So then all of a sudden, here comes Nettie Net and Big Orange on what type of time. Now they get out there. What do they say, y'all? What do they say? They say, "Oh, Iran has weapons of mass destruction, and Iran at any given time, these people are going to get a nuke and they're going to blow us all up. And we got to get over there and we got to make sure that this is not happening." Now, keep in mind, you have counterintelligence from other countries in the world, and they're saying Iran does not have a weapon. This is not what they're trying to do. So then they go into the negotiations, and America and Nettie Net sneak Iran on February 28th. Remember, they were supposed to be they were like almost done with negotiations. They were supposed to have their final meeting. Everything was supposed to be good to go, and America snuck them. Okay, and it's the second time they snuck them, because remember last summer, America went over there and dropped a bunch of bombs on them too. So now Iran is like, "Look, we can't trust y'all because we're supposed to be having these peaceful negotiations, these peaceful talks. And every time we get close to an agreement, y'all keep coming over and blowing us." But the reason Big Orange and Nettie Net wanted to go into war, because remember, they had to have a reason, because they're trying to win, because they don't want oil and gas being paid for in yuan or in euros. They only want it being paid for in American monyon, because that's what gives our dollar power. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? And typically, America is able to use their military to bully other people. But this time, Iran was very strategic, and they said, "Okay, I'm going to mess with all of your allies, and I'm going to destabilize your economy, and I'm going to run the price of gas up so high it makes your nose bleed, and it starts to cause hyperinflation and move your economy towards stagflation." So they're playing more of an economic game with us. And then in the meantime, Iran said, "We're going to open up the Strait of Hormuz, and we'll open up the Bab el Mandab Strait, but we're only going to do it for tankers that are paying the $2 million toll, and that they're paying for their oil in yuan, not American monyon." So this makes the yuan stronger and makes our dollar weaker. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down, okay? So now let's talk about the recent set of alleged. We're gonna say alleged. Everybody say allegedly. Everybody put alleged in the comments. Allegedly, 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 allegedly. Work the comments, work the shares, work the comments, work the shares, work the comments, work the shares. I suspect it could be 6 months to a year before this is reported on by mainstream or by legacy media. Y'all know I'll be ahead on stuff. Like, was it the Washington Post? They finally put out a report today talking about America is sending thousands of more troops over to the Middle East. I had already told y'all that. I told y'all that last month. That's what was happening. And they finally are reporting on it, right? They put them troops like March 11th, put them on the ships to send them over there, okay? So anyway, so we're gonna say allegedly, okay? And y'all, just for any of you guys that are younger than 35, y'all probably don't know about WikiLeaks, and y'all don't understand, like, for millennials, why a lot of us are so tight about this, because we've already lived through this with the Iraqi war. And things are really, really bad for us. Like when a lot of us got out of college, home businesses were being shut down, people's homes are being foreclosed on, cars are being repoed left and right. A lot of us had to move in with our parents. If you had parents that had a home or somewhere for you to move into, thank the Lord I was able to land on my feet, and have a good job and navigate and stuff. But for a lot of people in my age group, it was impossible, like damn near, for them to find a living wage, for them to be able to, make it. And so this is a repeat, but this is going to be worse. So it is infuriating to us that there's a set of people that are our parents' age that have allowed this to happen again. And then those of you that are younger, I feel like y'all don't have enough life experience. So life experience, a lack of understanding about the economy and global markets. And also a lot of y'all, y'all don't understand how evil people are. Because I noticed with the younger generation, it's more like, don't get me wrong, there's racism there, but I don't feel like a lot of y'all have had to experience like blatant, overt racism. When I was in college, there was a girl that called me a nigger bitch. In college, she wasn't old, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's why a lot of y'all, it was easier for y'all to get manipulated and like not, you know what I'm saying? Like not really see what some of us saw, and we saw it way faster, way, way faster. So even school, like, you're right, when my mama and my daddy were growing up, they had to fight because people were calling them, apes and monkeys and coons and the N-words left and right in elementary school. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the younger generation is more institutionalized and covert, and because they weren't experiencing it as direct, this is why I think a lot of people didn't realize like what was happening, right? So anyway, with that being said, it's about to be very challenging for you guys, but there's always an opportunity in every obstacle, okay? And if you're smart and if you plan, you're going to be okay. If you're smart, you're going to be okay, okay? But you have to plan and you have to be honest with yourself about what's currently going on, right? So, first thing first, let's talk about this alleged, everybody say allegedly, okay? Allegedly, the head of our Treasury Department, the guy's name, the Scott, his last name starts with the letter B, okay? That man, he allegedly came out, and allegedly you can find these videos all over YouTube. I watched it live when it was happening in the press conference, and talked about gray areas in the illegalities with the Treasury dealing in securities to help our economy stay in alignment. I know some of y'all got to think about what I just said, but that's the only way that I can say it without my accounts being taken down. Okay? So I'm going to try and help y'all understand what I just said, and then y'all going to be like, oh, okay. So every week there's a report that comes out. This report comes out from the Commodities Future Traders Commission. Okay? Now, I know y'all keep hearing about futures, and y'all keep hearing about futures being tied to gas prices, right? And you see the cat manipulation because the futures would be like $135, $145. They were freaking out. It was getting over to $100 a barrel, okay? typically the physical price of oil and the futures price of oil are in alignment. But right now, they're doing this. Okay. They're doing this because Big Orange and the head of the Treasury and, some of the members of the media and of Congress, they are manipulating the CAT. So this is why on Monday mornings, they get out and they say things like, oh, we're getting closer to peace talks. There's negotiations happening, blah, 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 blah. And by the time you get to Wednesday, they'd have wowed it out. Okay. It's because they are working to keep the futures prices down. Now, those of you that follow me, y'all know I'm always pointing out to you every week that these people are coming in and they're shorting the market. And they short the CAT. They short the CAT. They short the CAT like literally. It'll be like 5 minutes, 3 minutes before Big Orange puts up a tweet or makes an announcement. They make billions of dollars, and then they scram. Well, allegedly, it's not these individual billionaires. Allegedly, it's our Treasury, and they're doing it through the ESF, allegedly. So what I would encourage you to do is to go and look up the Commodities Future Traders Commission reports for March. And when you look up these reports in March, you're going to see all of the large trades. And you're going to notice that for the large trades, there's not any bank intermediaries that are being used. Because when a bank intermediary is used, it shows up on the report as a swap dealer. And you're going to notice at the top of March, around March 3rd, allegedly, when we started seeing these extreme shorts, you're going to see that the shorts jumped by 153,000. So from people that understand what happens to us, who have experience reading the reports, to us that understand finance, to us that understand markets because we trade and sometimes we short the market to make money, to those of us that understand that, for us, what we see, what it looks like, allegedly, supposedly, possibly, could be, but I'm not saying it's true, and this is for entertainment purposes only. It looks like ain't true, could be, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see. It looks like that the Treasury is redirecting money through the ESF. The ESF is the Exchange Stabilization Fund, okay? And because of the type of entity that the ESF is, you cannot use the Freedom of Information request to pull information from them. Only the Congress can do that. So this would make the perfect pathway in order for the head of the Treasury to pull this maneuver. Now, when you look at the bylaws of the ESF, it says that they're legally only allowed to deal in gold and securities. So my guess, when you look at the statement that the head of the Treasury made the other day about, it's unclear, that the language is fuzzy, is that they're going to try and say that the oil is a security. And therefore, what they did is legal. And the reason they're doing this is because it manipulates the futures market. And that is what's keeping a gallon of gas under $5 a gallon right now. Because Big Orange and all of the Republicans know if that gas keeps getting higher, and if it hits $5 a gallon or $6 a gallon before the midterms, that they're definitely going to be up out of here. And they all know it. And they know a lot of them are going to go to jail. Now, the issue with this is typically when someone shorts the market, they will be running away with billions of dollars. But remember, America is insolvent and other countries are not buying our treasury bonds right now because our CAT is unstable. And because our CAT is unstable, things don't look as attractive to foreign investors right now. So now, if what is happening, America is losing about another $13 billion because of what the head of the Treasury is doing through the ESF. Allegedly, could be happening, possibility. Y'all please work the comments right now, okay? And if you want to tap the screen, if you want to share, you want to send some gifts, I would greatly appreciate that, okay? So this is just your big cousin Ashley with her business mind and her finance mind, being able to look and see what is happening. Kay Johnson, thank you for that money gun, baby. Robin, thank you for those roses. This is just me being able to feel the wind and know if I need to put on a jacket or not. Okay? And I'm just saying that allegedly, possibly, it could be happening. And so since I broke down the patterns for y'all and I broke down the history of what makes America go over and have to stop this imminent threat, you can put two and two together because America got over there and we are getting our behind handed to us. America was not expecting Iran to do what it's doing. And they weren't expecting Iran to be purposely, intentionally driving up the cost of a barrel of oil, okay? They weren't expecting that, okay? And even when you look at the energy department in Big Oranges, therefore Big Orange, they brought these people in. They even estimate that the price of diesel is going to be over $4 all the way into 2027. And that the lowest that they can see a gallon of gas on average in America is getting back down to $3.46. Daniel, thank you for my smart bean, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Does that make sense? Is everybody picking up what I'm putting down right now? So this is a problem. And again, we know that they're not using the bank intermediaries, which is what they should be doing, but they're not doing that because it's not showing up as a swap trader. Now, does everybody understand what shorting the market is? If you understand, give me a 1. If you don't understand, give me a 2. Okay. If you understand, give me 1. If you don't understand, give me the number 2. Uh-oh. You said it's 7 in Cali. Yeah, they're trying to keep it from being $5 at the national average. Cali, y'all are always higher. It's $4.19 right now. And it's been there like since last week. And but this makes sense why it's staying there. Okay. Okay, I see some twos. So I'm gonna try and give you guys a simplified version of describing what shorting the market is. Okay. Let's say that, okay. We're gonna use my straw as an example because a lot of people are visual learners, right? So I have this straw. Okay, y'all see my straw? My straw is gold. And let's say I have 10 of these gold straws. And each of my gold straws is worth $1,000. Okay? Each of my straws is worth $1,000. And let's say my friend has the straws. I'm gonna use myself as an example as the shorter. So my friend has 10 of these straws worth $1,000 each. And I have a suspicion that the value of the straw is going to go down. I think instead of the straw being worth $1,000, that maybe next month the straw is going to be worth $500. Everybody picking up what I'm putting down right now? And in this example, the straw represents, okay, it represents a share, or it represents stocks, okay? But we're just going to use the straw as an example. Okay. So my friend has 10 of these and they're worth $1,000 each, these golden straws. And I say, I think next month people only gonna be willing to pay $500 for the straws. And my friend owns all 10 of the straws. I don't own 10 straws. I only got my little one lonely straw. So I go to my friend and I say, hey, can I borrow 4 or 5 of those straws for the next month? And my friend says, sure, Ashley Ann, you're trustworthy. You're responsible. Yeah, girl, I'll let you borrow these straws. I know you'll take good care of them. So then I go out, okay, and I go into the market, and because I believe the value is going to be lower, I sell the straws for $1,000 each. Okay, so now I got $5,000 in my pocket because I sold straws for $1,000 each. Okay, now I know that I strongly believe that the value of these straws is only going to be worth $500. And guess what? I end up being right. I'm correct. The price of the straw drops down to $500. So now I go back into the kit and I purchase the straws at $500 each. I just made $2,500 in profit. And I asked my friend, could I borrow the straws for a couple months, right? So now I give the 5 straws back to the friend. So when someone shorts the market, they don't actually own the shares or the stock. They borrow it from somebody else. They're betting on the fact that it's going to be worth less money. They borrow it, they sell it to somebody else, and then they go in and buy it when it's at a lower price and give it back to the original owner. The original owner is in the same position. They haven't lost anything, right? Because they got their straws back. I was able to make some money on something that I didn't have to purchase, right? And it's a win-win. You said robbing Peter to pay Paul, basically. But that's what people are doing when they short the market. Okay. So that's how you make money. When you know something is going to go down, you go in and you get that stock, baby, you sell them off, you wait. And then when it comes in at a lower price, you set your system to say, I'm going to buy it when it hits this price. Your system goes in, it buys when it's at that price, and then you give the shares back to whoever you got them from. You said you call that flip flan? Okay, well they call it shorting the market, and it's legal, but it's not legal. Okay, when the allegedly, possibly the head of the Treasury is doing it. Okay, it's not legal then. You're manipulating the cat, and they're doing this on purpose to keep the futures prices low, so that way the price of a gallon of gas stays down to under $5 per gallon. Allegedly, possibly, Yeah. All right. You said child, right? All right. So let's open up the queue. If y'all got questions, if y'all want to comment. Oh, what is that? No, we don't. Oh, snap. Hold on, y'all. To open up something I'm trying to open up. I catching headers. I don't want to do that. Boom. There we go. If y'all got a question, y'all can request up. Okay. If you got commentary you want to add to the conversation, you can do that too. Okay. Y'all just remember, if you want to come to the workshop, make sure you go to my bio so you can get your ticket. I just dropped the link over here on YouTube and Facebook. If anybody wants to come up, let me pin it so y'all don't have to search for it in the chat. Boom. There it is on the bottom of my screen. Y'all don't forget the workshop is Saturday. If you need help attracting buyers so you can make more money, remember our goal is to make an extra $1,000 to $3,000 a month. Come to the workshop. All right. The price is going up tonight, so get in for the low while it's there. Excuse me. Hey, Royal Calypso. Oh, what is this? Chad, it's a little book that's to open up. I don't know what that is. Hey, Crystal.
Hello, divine evening.
How are you? I like that divine evening. That's nice. Hi, Brass. Oh, goodbye, Brass. Maybe, I don't know. Are you there, Brass? Are you not? I'm not sure. Hey, Crystal, what you got on it, girl?
Yeah, my question was, do you think that balloon will will basically pop where people will be able to see what they're doing before the elections, like, because it's like they don't believe stuff. They don't believe fat and greasy until it's too late. Like, we told you all this before, and now you want to research after you cast a ballot. Like, that don't make sense.
If I'm being honest, I don't think that there's going to be enough Americans that actually understand to this level, you know what I mean, of understanding that y'all have. But I do know that the average American, they're going to understand what's happening at the gas pump. They're going to understand going into the grocery store. They're going to understand losing their health insurance because it's doubled, tripled, or quadrupled, right? They're going to understand, seeing a lot of the programming in their children's school being, cut out and things like that. So they may not understand the whole concept as far as like, petrodollars and values and bonds and interest rates and all of that, but they will understand how it's directly impacting their life and that their life has become significantly worse since this regime has taken over. And I do think that's going to be enough to incentivize people to go and vote. I do believe in our community, we have to do a really good job and a better job at talking to like our friends, our neighbors, children's nieces and nephews that are becoming voter age this year, so that they understand the importance of getting registered and and what's really happening, so they can make informed decisions and go and vote properly.
Yeah, I appreciate you breaking it down like you did, because like, I would hear stuff, but not once have I heard them saying like, oh yeah, they got to pay $2 million if they pass the straight, but not in US dollars. Like, that's important.
Right.
Like, they're not putting that part. Like, that's important caveat of understanding all of this information, and the older I get, the more you go back and you learn about the history that you weren't even paying attention to, to know that this person, they were bad, when you weren't paying attention to it. But when you understand the backstory, it's like, oh, they was really for their people.
Right. Right.
And we just been lied to, and they feed us the same lies. WMD. Like, nah, y'all were just over there trying to steal stuff.
It's pretty much, and this is the thing, inadvertently, what Big Orange and Petey Weedy have done is they have actually put Iran in a better position. Yeah, inadvertently, that's what they have done. And then also they have made America look very weak across the globe. I watch a lot of international news. And when you watch these press conferences or you watch these interviews that other world leaders are a part of, the things that they are openly saying about our country, about our administration, about our president right now, things that they never would have said before, literally saying that, the Jeffy, they call us, first of all, they call our administration the Epstein regime. They also talk about how they're all doing D+ rugs and raping children. They're like all on TV, out in the open with it. They're talking about, what type of D+ rugs is, Big Orange doing, blah, 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 blah. These are things that these countries, their leaders never would have fixed their faces to say this. And a lot of them are going over, trying to cut their own deals with Iran, right? And also inadvertently, well, I don't feel like, I'm going to say inadvertently, but I don't believe it's inadvertently. Let me be clear. Because I do believe that this current person in leadership position that's sitting in the house that looks like a trap house right now because he tore it down, that he's an asset to another country that ain't us. Okay. And so anyway, when you look at Poop Delou, they were like in economic turmoil, and literally he is fix their economic problems like almost overnight. So the fact that they released the sanctions and now you have several countries that are going there to get oil from them, and they're making like billions of dollars, you know what I'm saying? They've netted like over $250 billion already. they're at a larger advantage. And then you remember there was supposed to be a blockade, and we're supposed to be putting sanctions on any tankers that were going down there to, help Venezuela and all that kind of stuff. But they Putin pulled up and they just let them ships go right on through, right? So
I didn't know they released that with the cold country. Their sanctions. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's the purpose. That's making our whole situation even worse. If this is all the reason why you're doing this. That was stuff like this.
Yes, a couple of weeks ago, they removed the sanctions off of Putin, and they were like, they're doing this in an effort to help the global supply of oil to keep the energy costs from being as drastically high as they were. So yeah, they don't have sanctions on them anymore. And countries are definitely going over to buy oil from them.
Yeah, and this situation is increasing power for China to the too.
Yes. Yes.
Drastically.
Yes.
And they've been playing around in Africa. They everywhere. It's the long game. They playing
Baby,
chess,
let me tell you this.
Been playing
I was in the Bahamas,
like
and the man in the Bahamas was saying that chat to the A was. I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone. My bad.
Good evening.
How y'all doing?
You good? How you doing?
I'm all right. This Yaya from Philly.
Hey, girl.
I just paid $4.35 for gas, and I'm pissed. I'm just letting everybody know. I'm
as you should be. As you should be.
Shout to the A. Been in the Bahamas. I went to the Bahamas maybe last year, and the gentleman that was giving us the tour was saying that everything, like they brought up everything that they could out there.
In Jamaica
so
too.
They can have that access. They want to be like boots on the ground. They want to have their places established for whatever happens. And this was like not this summer, but last summer. Mm-hmm. And he was just giving us all this insight. So to see these things happening now, like it's everywhere. Like they've established their spots already. Like they already got their stuff picked out.
Yeah.
And in every area, every territory. So it's way bigger than what we even are contemplating right now, because we focused on this, but they boots on the ground everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, they be even making their own islands.
Yeah,
they sure are.
It's like they got it on lock. He said, he was like, yo, they brought up anything that they could out there. They got it.
And they've been pumping crazy money into infrastructure inside of those countries. And then y'all know an official from Taiwan has not been to China in like 20 years, over 20 years. And now they have shown up and they're like, we're basically going to reconcile and we're going to put together a plan and we're going to have peace. Well, yeah, because think about it. If you're them, or if you're Korea, you know at this point you cannot trust America. And America is not going to do the things that it told you they were going to do as long as this current regime is in place. And what I fear is that you have a lot of Americans, they think like, well, as soon as these people are out of the office, things are going to go back to normal. No, they're getting into these deals and trade agreements, and these are long-term deals, y'all. They're not going to say, oh, well, America has a different president, so yeah, everything back to normal. No, that's not how it's going.
Once they establish those logistics, routes, that's a lot of work to set up logistics for a global chain. Like they're not going to go back and do that. Oh,
we never going back.
We like you again now. No, like
we never going back.
We going with some people that ain't never violated trust. Like, and we done locked in, made arrangements. They done. I'm good. I'm good with you.
Yep. Kamala, yes, but I can't talk about that. I can talk about that in private, but I can't do it on live because of the other content that I put out. I can't remember the violation they got me for. It was like something around incitement or something like that. So that's why I don't talk about that particular thing. But I do agree that everyone should be working on having a dual book that lets you go in between countries. There you go.
Citizenship.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
All right. So all this is about where you come from. You might be from another state. I'm from another state. You have your own senator. You have your own governor. You have to think about your governor. Is your governor doing the right job? is your senator, is your mayor. So if you elect the leading person who is doing good, then it go up to the governor. You elect the right governor. But one thing I learned about this is, do you all know about underground railroad campaign?
Say it again.
Yeah, the last part.
Railroad, like
What about the railroad?
campaign.
A railroad campaign for what?
Okay, that's what it's called. Railroad campaign, where you campaign on your underground, or where you are.
You talking about like grassroots?
No.
You talk about canvassing?
No, I'm talking about campaigning underground.
Campaigning underground.
That sounds like grassroots.
Yeah, it sounds like grassroots. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So you campaign like, okay, your mayor, whoever you're electing, you have to like okay, what we do is like all right, we have this Democrat, Republican. Okay, this Republican is taking off they're getting all the votes. Then we go underground, and then we
Turn the bathroom light on.
Not turn the bathroom light on.
Right. Turn the lights on.
Turn the lights on.
All right, so I'm guessing she's saying that we should use our local government to diffuse or defeat what we're already, but we already in this thing. Like we just had, I'm in Philly, so the mayor just was on TV with the royals from the Netherlands, and they were talking about trades. Like it's so many things going on right now. It's so many different levels and conversations that we're not privy to, and like we were just speaking about, things happen. Like we're experiencing things that Trump signed on his first go round.
Okay, let me tell you
there
this.
are things that are happening. It don't happen today and then tomorrow.
Okay.
It happens. It gets signed today, and then it's years that it takes for it to be active or to be too so.
Listen, what I'm saying.
We trying, miss. We trying.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna make it.
We trying, girl. I'm gonna try to help you out.
So what happened is, okay, you have this person you don't like, and you go underground and you talk to people, and then this person have been up there for like 8 years. You try to pull him down. So let's say Republican or Democrat. So I'm gonna not say what we are.
Actually, what you saying?
So you drop them up. So whenever you go for primary election, you go for Republican, and
but it's not about liking people. It's more about the policies and how they're affecting lives.
I understand. That's what it is.
Right, you were saying like to go like basically like circumvent the leaders
For
because you don't like what they're doing.
For primary, not general.
But primary, you gotta understand
talking
about locals.
Yes.
Right,
but this is
the way things are going.
It's already
Because
structured.
there's so many people, different PACs that pour money into the opposition and things like what happened to Jasmine Crockett.
That's
like,
big.
You try to
Right.
break them down.
The money.
It's the money behind it, though. That's the reason. Like for real, like Jasmine Crockett, like we were that was the one that we were trying to get the change with somebody that we like, and you see what they did to her.
Look what they did to Stacey Abrams.
Oh, they did her dirty.
They do that all the time.
They do it all the time. That is the truth. The mayor in Baltimore, I forgot her name. She went through it like, they will shut you down, baby. Soon as you get close, they change the rules up. They will switch it up in a minute.
Yeah, and then you have to keep in mind with like gerrymandering. You have to keep in mind all of the voter suppression, the fact that they have an active list that like Republican governors.
What's gerrymandering?
Gerrymandering is basically whenever they look at your state or your voting district in a city and they redraw the lines so that it gives the other party more of an advantage. So
sanctions.
No, they like this. You splitting the vote, so it makes it like really, really challenging for a particular candidate to win an area. And so then you have all of these Republican governors too, like they have given over the voter rolls. So now this administration can go through and they can find all the people that are most likely to vote Democrat and erase you. Right, they can go in and come with some type of violation and say, "Oh, you can't vote for XYZ element of P."
Exactly.
So whenever you start talking about like an underground campaign, like you also have to have that. It's challenging because you have to have people that don't align with you politically, or they have different political ideas, or they're happy with the way things are being run. If they're in a district, right, and it's because the way they gerrymandered the district, it's stacked. You're not gonna win. So at this point, the one advantage that is the one advantage, you don't win in the general either. You don't win either way. If a state has been if a state has been what you're not gonna do. Hey girl, what you're not gonna do is talk over me. Don't be disrespectful, because I sat there and listened to all your nonsense and foolishness that I did not agree with, and I was very polite about it. So don't disrespect me.
I'm sorry.
So don't disrespect me. I'm down to have a conversation. I'm down with opposing views and opinions, but I don't like disrespect. I don't run that type of platform. I know a lot of people on the app, that's what they have to do to get clicks and views and engagement and stuff. I don't have to do that over here. I don't. So this is the thing. When you look at the state of Texas, the majority of people in Texas, they don't like the governor that they have. They don't vote for that governor, but because they have gerrymandered the crap out of not just with Jasmine, because I was like, how is Hot Wheels? How does he keep winning? And then I kept trying to figure out. I said, how does Ted Cruz keep getting his position? This doesn't make any sense. But when you go and look at how they gerrymander the map and how they remanipulate things before the elections, that is how it's being done. So even if you have a majority of people that don't agree with it, but it's not a majority inside of a certain voting district, now you're going to have a problem. And that person that these Republicans, they're going to be able to keep cheating and winning. So this is why I honestly advocate for the Democrats. I'm like, y'all need to gerrymander too. Right. Stop trying to be fair. Yeah, like California did. Yeah, and California did a good job because what they did is they brought it to the people and they said, hey, we want you to vote. We want the people to vote to say, is the state as a whole, are y'all okay with us gerrymandering? Of course, California came through and did what they need to do. So now California is able to gerrymander, right, and to counteract all of the Republican gerrymandering. And that's why you had a lot of Republicans started freaking out because they're like, oh my God, we're going to lose our seats.
Y'all use it. Y'all using our playing on us. Don't be mad when I pull a you on you.
That part. And so when you're looking at the way that, electorals are set up, the way that seats are counted, the way that delegations are counted, and those sorts of types of things, that is what they will do. So they'll say, we know that the majority of people in this area are more than likely to vote Democratic, or they're more than likely to vote independent. So they will go and they will change the line so that they split the voters. So now that district, right, all of a sudden, when let's say that district would have counted for, 7 delegations or something like that, well, now they're down to 2 because of the way they went and redistricted. So gerrymandering is something that they've been using for a very, very long time. And on top of gerrymandering, now they have started to scrub the voter registration list. So I'm a voter who got scrubbed from the list. So now, every month, I'm going to check to see am I still registered to vote because they scrubbed me off of it. A lot of us, they scrubbed a lot of us off of the list. Then
they started doing that on the first Trump, because I used to do the ballots. So when Trump was being elected, it was a big thing about everybody being married. That's when I first started hearing about if your ID has your married name and not your maiden name, and that's what you 18 and that's what you register under, that they were turning people away. And I'm like, they can't do that. Like, as long as you can prove that you're you, but if it's not written, it didn't happen. And so it's crazy that is absolutely what's happening now. Like, at that point, they were still like teeter-tottering with it. Now it's straight up. If it does not match, you do not. You won't be able to vote.
So unless you like me and you show up with a birth certificate, a passport, a bill from your house, your driver's license, and I wish you would turn me away. Now me and I'm finna vote, right? But literally, most people don't know that, so they come and now they can't vote. Or you show up and they change your voter district and they say, you're not registered to vote in this district, and now people are having to drive an hour away, an hour and a half away. Most people are not going to get in the car and drive an hour or an hour and a half away, right? What they're going to do, they're just going to be like, oh, well, I tried and I can't. Or now because you showed up at 6 o'clock, maybe you showed up at 4 o'clock, the line was long, you finally get up there at 6:15 to be able to vote, and they tell you got to go somewhere else, which is an hour away, and the polls close at 7 o'clock. And then the governor comes through and says, yeah, we're not going to allow the polls to stay open later, even though you got millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people that literally they did not know until that day when they got there that they got to go somewhere else to vote.
Let me ask a question.
And that's what they were doing with the SAVE Act too, right?
That's what they're trying to pull off with the SAVE Act. That's
the
what they're
ID part, but the voter roll suppression, like the take people off the voter roll, because they don't,
because they're trying to cancel out women's votes because there's so many women.
They know it's strong.
There's so many women who are going to lean more into Democrat.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. I'm in Texas. So when we go vote and we have Greg up there,
I will.
Okay, all right, yes, whatever you want to call. But
I like that name, Ashley.
Exactly. Okay, and then what I was saying is we do primary election, which happened. It already happened.
It is still in the primary.
And then we do it differently. You don't vote for him, and then we make his votes down, and then we're gonna go a rerun.
So you have to have enough people though in the Republican Party that are basically tired of what's happening to turn around and vote across the aisle. Because when we're doing that. Well, I'm like, no, because it's been a lot of upsets. Like, it's been a lot of upsets, and Democrats have been flipping a lot of seats that have been Republican for 50 years. They've been flipping them, especially down there in Florida. The last election that they just had, all those seats flipped over to Democrat, because I'm telling you, people, they may not understand the gerrymandering, they may not understand the voter suppression, but people understand. I went to the grocery store. I bought 2 pomelos, 5 lemons, and 4 apples, and it cost me $15.90. People understand. I went to the grocery store and I wanted to buy a pound of ground beef, and a pound of ground beef is $9.65. It now costs more for a pound of beef than minimum wage in America. You know what I'm saying? People understand that. People understand. I used to be able to fill up my car for $30, and now it costs me $85, or it costs me $60. In my case, it's 100. I think it's like 125 for me to fill up my truck now. And before the gas started going up, it was like 60. Yeah, I drive an Escalade.
I paid $60 today.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? People like y'all know the neighborhood app. People are inside of the neighborhood app talking about, hey, is anybody else's water bill going up by this much, or their light bill going up by this much, or their gas bill going up by this much? So people see that is happening, and so that is what will make people vote out. That's what will make people react. They'll vote out the governor, they'll vote out the mayor, they'll vote out the congressmen and women. They will vote them out because they're looking and they're saying literally, I can't live. I'm having to skip a meal. I gotta get up out of my lease. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at that kind of stuff. So people may not understand everything, but they understand how things directly impact their wallet.
Right. They need to do a little bit
Some
more
people,
critical
if they're
thinking about
Republican,
cause and
they can
effect
help
of what's
it.
going to happen. Because if somebody tell you, I don't want to use green energy, if you have all these energy sources and you don't want to use one that's good for the earth, plus it lowers costs, and then now you took that one resource out, and now you're left with fossil fuel as the energy supply. And if there's a demand issue, that's gonna, you're cutting your foot off.
Ash, I gotta shift real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So the one.
Wait, hold on, y'all. Let me say this.
Okay.
So, Crystal, the issue that is there, and the Democrats have always struggled with this. They really need to hire me on the cool, but they suck with their messaging, right? So the most Americans, they do not understand that green, clean energy is going to put more money in their pocket because it is going to lower your light bill. It is going to lower your water bill. If more people understood that, I promise you, they'd be like, we won't bring the windmills, bring the solar panels, but because people don't understand it, and you got to remember, you got a lot of people, they get all of their information from Fox. Then you got a whole bunch of people, they not getting any information. They like, I just can't watch the news. It depresses me. It's overwhelming to me. So they just kind of hearing stuff here and there, right? Then you have other people that are very isolated, right? And because they're isolated and they're inside of a little echo chamber, they're just believing, whatever the pastor is telling them or whatever Big Mama is telling them about the world.
Right. Yeah, I seen a video. I forgot the senator, but he was explaining it in such a way, because I didn't understand how that worked. The different, like you have the different types of energy, and how, depending on the demand, they'll turn one line on to deliver the energy to a certain area or whatnot. So if you deplete the whole green energy, then all you have is oil or fossil,
right.
And if that is going to go up because the price and war and all this other stuff, that's already going to be higher, but now you don't have another source to compensate for that.
Correct.
And that's because this man said, no, we don't need it. But, like my initial thought was, it's still good just because you're not going in a coal mine to mine for it, doesn't mean that you're not going to have workers on a solar mill or on a dam or all the other ways that we get clean energy. Exactly. You still need employees to run those facilities. Those are still jobs. Just because you learn coal mining, you can go learn wind farming. You can learn something else. But you can still be employed.
That's when we get into lobbyists, right? And because somebody has X amount of dollars, they can lobby against and say,
they put the money behind it.
There you go.
And that's what I mean by when you have all these people with this money, they push their agenda, and then the person that you want, it doesn't matter because they push that agenda. Like, look what Musk did with the election. He paid for, I'm sorry.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. What they allegedly said on TV.
I mean, the fact that all of a sudden in all of the swing states he wants to come in and volunteer his satellites and his technologies to come in and tabulate and count. Okay.
Yeah. Or lottery tickets.
Right.
Oh, not lottery tickets.
It was.
He did.
He was offering cold hard cash. He was like, if you vote for this person,
you Oprah, you get some money.
So Ash, listen. So I mean, it's still in the to piggyback off of what we were just speaking about. And one of the lives or one of your videos, you were speaking about, and when I converse or I listen to what you put out, I analyze, I do some research, and I like to, talk to people about it. I feel more confident. So when you were speaking about the troops, you was breaking down how they have to go underground. You said it's not oil, it's like an actual gas, right? That's what you were saying. You were saying, and they have to like capsulate it.
Yeah, they're rich uranium.
Okay, that's what we're actually going through all of this for, not oil. Did I understand that properly?
Yes and no. That's like drama. They're putting that out there to say that because like every 72 hours they keep changing like what's the reason we're involved in what's the objective, right, of the Iran war. So now they're saying it's the enriched uranium because the enriched uranium is what's going to give Iran the ability to make a weapon of mass destruction. Okay. But it's really just a cover. Like it really is about the petrodollar at the end of the day. They started saying, so, okay, Big Orange had a meeting with Saudi Arabia. I'm trying to remember. I feel like it was maybe in September, October last year. And basically he went over to see if he could convince the prince to like basically strike up another 50-year deal. And the prince was like, I just want to keep options open. He was like, for now, we'll still trade oil in dollars, but we also are open to trading oil in yuan and in euros. Okay. So that part happened. All right. Now, remember, Saudi was like, oh, they started sending over these big gifts. And then all of a sudden we were like different countries from the Middle East. They're going to be able to come to America and use the Air Force bases, yada, 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 yip, right? All this stuff starts happening. So, hey.
Minute to stop. From Syria need help for food familia. Please, 5 minutes.
Oh, Ash.
Stop.
No. So anyway, so literally all of that, right, is going on. And then all of a sudden you have Cha to the and then you have Putulu. They're like, oh, well, we're going to start using yuans to do XYZ LMP. And so then now you have America and Petey Weedy and Nettie Net coming out, and they're like they're a week away. Y'all, Nettie Net has been saying that Iran is a week away from having a weapon of mass destruction since
3 months ago.
Since before I was born.
Right.
No, this has been going on for decades. This has been going on for decades. Like literally, you can go online and you can find montages of him, and they put the year up there. They're like 1987, 1996, 1993, 2003, and then and I can't remember. I can't remember the guy's name. But he basically worked for a lot of the presidents, and he said that he came out, he used to work for the CIA, and he said that Nettie Net literally has done this to every president. He comes to every president. He says Iran has a weapon of mass destruction. They're a week away. Any day now, any moment, they can have this nuke, and they gonna blow y'all up, and they hate America, and blah 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 blah. And the CIA guy says all the other presidents are smart enough to say, nah, we good, except for Big Orange. She took the bait.
Yeah, and then this time he don't have the no people.
Right.
So everybody
just going along with it.
Right. He went to him the first time he was in office, but we had some people that was like
they shut him down.
Right. It's all yes men there. So
yeah. He made sure to come in and clear the house out and put everybody in cabinet he needed.
He found out what he needed to know for the second go round, so he could rift everything. He just
indeed. I was debating. I thought we already was 2 years in. He only been here for 1 year.
Barely.
We still got to.
Child.
Just a year and a half.
Child.
I was like, no, it had to be 2 years.
No.
He got us all the way involved in under a year, because those reports is from September last year. So that was as of September last year that we owe all that money. That's not including the money that we spend in daily for this
daily.
$2 billion.
Daily.
And the streets say that they are underestimating the $2 billion a day. They said it's more than it says really more than that.
They shortened them.
Yeah, this is some of the most expensive grandstanding I've ever witnessed in my life.
Right.
It's crazy.
Want to sue and
yes. Like how you handling business over there and over here?
Baby, we need a class action suit against him.
Right. I need some.
We need a class action suit. Mental anguish, distress,
emotional
distress.
The
White House.
Okay.
For messing up the White House. It's an eyesore.
Baby,
looking at it.
Baby, that man turned the White House into a trap house.
That's crazy.
For real, he did.
He ripped the whole back off and just left it there.
Just
Like,
left
how?
it in the wind. It's raining in the White House. Insane. Oh, dang. They got me. Oh my God, y'all, they just banned me. What they access? They said I'm, let's see, violating community guidelines. I didn't violate nothing. Appeal. Hold on, y'all. Let me fill out this appeal form. Mm-hmm. This is so crazy, y'all. They just got me. You see what I'm saying? They be getting me for nothing. I did all of that trying to keep the account protected. They got mad because I said the White House is like a trap house, and it does. Craziness. All right, y'all. So I'm frustrated at this point. So I'm finna hop off. Okay. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are on the planet Earth. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. Y'all don't forget to register for the workshop. Okay. And I'm gonna figure out if I want to keep going live, baby. If I just I don't know. I'm frustrated right now. Okay. I'm gonna see y'all later. Thank you for everybody that tapped the screen. Thank you for everybody that sent me a gift. But yes, they did just clip my live stream. All right. Bye, y'all.